Welcome back to another episode of the Ambitious as Fuck podcast. In case you were wondering what the AF stands for, this is your host, Priscilla Parra, and I've been hosting since 2020. However, I've been MIA for a little bit over a year, since August of 2024, and what a fucking year it's been.
Welcome to the Ambitious as Fuck podcast, where we have raw conversation about staying motivated and ambitious while facing real life challenges. Success doesn't just happen, you have to work hard, fall, and keep getting up regardless of the obstacles. If settling or giving up is not your style, stick around for this real ass conversation.
It was actually really difficult to record this episode right now because originally I was going to record just the voice episode and I had my team edit that, and that didn't work out because I felt that if I was going to come back after a year and I'm going to have a whole bunch of new listeners and a new audience, then I better show up for real. So this episode, if you're listening to it, you can also listen to it on YouTube or watch it if you want to, if you are sitting at your desk or whatever, or you want to put a face to a name. So anyway, it's been a crazy year. And if you're here, let's just be clear about why you're here and what this podcast is about. It means that you're here to grow and change your mind, because a lot of times we get stuck in our own thoughts and then we get stuck. And growth doesn't happen when we think we know everything. So we also need to be stronger because we are fucking sensitive little bitches sometimes. And some of us just really need to get over it and just keep going. Who cares? Stop taking shit so personally. And most of us, I think, are here to push through the bullshit. So I know that I always push through the bullshit and all the noise. And regardless of what the hell's going on around me, I'm just going to stay the course. And that's exactly why this podcast was created back in 2020. So back then, people were losing their lives. People were losing motivation. It was rough. And since then, I think we've all been in a different space. And so I wanted back then a space to, stay the course, stay motivated, keep moving forward no matter what happens. And the reason that I did that was because that's just always been my personality. I've always just been, if you want to call it, a go-getter. I just kind of I don't listen to people. If I think that I can have something or if there's something that I want, I just don't see any reason why I can't go after it if I choose to do so. And so, there could be setbacks, or perhaps there were things that I thought that I should have already, or, just along the road, there's always things, not just me. This isn't just about me. The reason why I share about me is because I know for a fact that if I don't share what I go through, then the people that go through the same exact thing or have the same thoughts or don't know how to move forward, but might have that feeling that they want. And maybe, just maybe, the stories that I share can be of some type of help to someone. So that's what I realized one of my purposes is. So that's why I'm here. It's not to yell at people. It's not to give my opinion, because my opinion doesn't matter. We all have one. I'm actually here to help people grow because that's I was meant to do. And so I love people. Sometimes people, of course, get on my nerves, but because I've done a lot of introspective work, I have been able to start viewing things differently and not judging, or at least working on it. So that's why I've stepped away the last year, because of course, since 2020, we've all been, I think, working on ourselves to some degree. But within the last year, there was a lot of goals that I was trying to reach. And I just knew that I was the one getting in my own way. So I had to start figuring out, why am I getting in my own way? So that's basically where I was at. And so in addition to the fact that you all know I'm already ambitious as fuck. So of course I've been working on a shit ton of projects and growing our family business, which I've talked about before. So I'm just excited to be back because there's a lot of really cool shit coming up, a lot of cool people coming back on the show. Actually, I'm excited about that. But I'll share about that at the end. Let me talk about basically what this episode is about. As you saw, the title is She's Dead to Me. So a few months back, I posted a poem on Instagram, and that's what it was. And the poem, it basically, at that point in time, which was several months back, I don't think I had really been posting anymore, again, because I've just been really busy growing. I've been the biggest project I've been working on, honestly. But, at that time, I just started realizing that I was the one that needed to kill parts of myself that needed to go away, because those parts of myself are the ones that get me stuck. And so therefore, she's dead to me is that I had to let part of me die. So I'm going to read that to you. Give me a second. I'm a little thirsty here. You guys know that my episodes are pretty raw, so for the most part, I don't really delete anything. And so the last few days, before I read the poem, hold on, let me I know how I totally switched it up. But, it's just, nope, we're going to have to edit that part because I totally lost my train of thought again. So let me get back to the poem, see? Or maybe, fuck it, let's just leave it there because why not? All right, so here's the poem. To the woman who was once a victim, then turned around and victimized others, I'm so glad you're gone. She found pleasure in pain, and sabotage was her game. And I'm so glad she's gone. She taught me through torment, through chaos and screams, but I shattered her throne and reclaimed my dreams. She's dead to me now. I've broken the spell that tangled my roots in generational hell. So, as I mentioned, that what this means is like killing the old me. I don't want to be a victim anymore. I don't want to repeat the same cycles that I've been going through. I don't want to sabotage my own life, and my happiness. So I had to let the old me die. I had to, because if I didn't, then I'd still be living the same story I was born into instead of the story that I actually want. And healing means becoming aware, actually. It means that you start noticing patterns, you start asking yourself questions and digging deep into yourself. Like, for example, you start realizing that you get really pissed off. Like, why am I so pissed off right now? Hold on, let me step back. Should I even be this pissed off? Or like, if we got our feelings hurt about some stupid shit, or someone made a comment and then we personalized it for some reason. Why am I crying? Why am I so upset? Why am I so bothered by this? And if you were to actually sit back with those thoughts, then you would dig deeper into the real reason why. And I'll get into that later. I'm not going to talk about how to do it right now. But I do want to address the fact that a lot of the stuff that's in our subconscious comes from trauma. Trauma can happen in different forms. We don't have to think of trauma in just one particular way. There's all kinds of trauma. If you don't get to the root of what is causing you to react the way that you do, or the unhappy feelings that you have on a regular basis, what I'm trying to say is that, trauma, it does wire our brains. And if trauma happens as kids, it's even worse. We don't choose who we're born into or what happens to us. So sometimes, shit happens that's out of our control as kids, but then as adults, we start reacting to the same pain without even realizing it. So that's self-sabotage. It's your brain addicted to stress, addicted to chaos. And I had to face that in myself. It hasn't been pretty. It's ugly. It feels like shit. Healing, and I think that's why we're so scared to do it, is because you have to face the shit that you've been ignoring. And so there's a reason why we ignore it, or we put headphones on and try to drown. Can we ever sit down and just not think? And that's something I've been working on, to stop recreating, the suffering that I was creating, actually, And the second that you realize that you're the one creating your suffering, then that's when you actually have power. And that's what I want everyone to kind of get out of this episode, maybe future episodes, because honestly, we make a shit ton of excuses as to why we do things or why we don't do things. And excuses are what seriously always is ourselves getting in our own way. So, here, stop thinking you're a victim. If you have a victim mentality, cut it out. Stop letting your old wounds write the story you have today. Like, move forward. Just start writing a new story. Be aware of your triggers or your reactions, your subconscious behaviors. Journal them, dig into them, deprogram this shit. Right now, how about this? I'll recommend you a book that I'll talk about in the next episode, Change Your Mind by R.J. Spina. It's about rewiring your brain and rebalancing your energy, which is what we all need to do, because once you do, then you're not going to be stressed out or pissed off, and things start changing and your outlook is just completely different and things just roll off your back because nothing really actually matters. That's the kind of work I've been doing, guys, because when I first started running our family business and I had to step back from Ambitious AF a little in order to grow the business, I really had to start looking inward to see, like, why are certain things going the way they go? And why am I doing certain things that I'm doing, things that I'm not necessarily proud of or happy about? But you know what? I'm not gonna sit here and cry about all my mistakes and beat myself up forever, because that's what we tend to do as humans. And that's not learning. Like, what we have to do when we fuck up is just learn from it and move forward. So you guys already know, if you've been here before, then you know this is the kind of shit I talk about. If you're here for the first time, this is pretty much the shit I talk about. It's life and it's business. Or you don't have to be a business owner, but you do have goals in life that you want to achieve. So don't let those goals that you have for yourself just sit there simply because you're scared of change. And change is what's going to be your best friend, as scary as it fucking is. And I don't give a fuck how old you are, because you could be 100 years old and you could start working out right now, and there's nothing wrong with it. And it might take a long time to, I'm not saying you're going to be a bodybuilder, but you could fucking do anything whenever the fuck you feel like it. So just get up off your ass and go do shit. All right, so anyway, kill the old shit, kill the old drama, get rid of the chaos in your life. You can choose to just start changing that. So with my poem at the end, I say that I shattered that throne, because that's not going to be me anymore. I don't want to do that shit. I'm breaking the spell, man. Reclaiming my dreams. The old shit that happened to me is going to prevent me from being the best fucking version of myself that I could be and have everything that I could possibly dream of. That's stupid. Just think about that. The next time that you make an excuse for not moving forward or doing something, I want you to really sit there and look at yourself. Is this reason that I just said or thought that excused me to not do the thing that I know I should do, is it me? Or is somebody else stopping me? Think about that. So I'm telling you guys to choose to move forward, to choose to heal, and start breaking yourself down. If you're working on a bunch of projects, well, make yourself one of those projects. Stop fucking complaining. If you don't like what your life is right now, then fucking change it. And stop making excuses. Everything you say is an excuse. And then look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, who's the one actually holding you back from your life? Hopefully you learn to kill those old parts of you, just like I've been learning. By all means, I'm not perfect. I'm not claiming to be. So this is not me saying like, oh my God, I conquered life. No, of course not. But I do hope that, all of this shit does light a fire under your fucking ass, because we all need one sometimes. And hopefully the stuff that comes up on here is a little bit of that for you. If you like the show and you have particular problems, then you can actually send me messages on Instagram. I am on Instagram as ambitiousaf. There's also LinkedIn, so you ambitious AF, and I try to change the content on these different avenues so that it doesn't get boring and repetitive. I mentioned in the beginning that I have old guests from the show from previous seasons. I'm gonna do snippets of previous seasons while I bring the guests back, because a lot of these people, you guys, they actually did what they said they were gonna do when I interviewed them, and they're living that right now. And oh my God, it's that to me is just so motivating to just hear. Like, I even told my cousin who was on the show, I was like, dude, Betty, it was just recently. I go, you fucking did it, dude. You have your own barbershop. And she was like, I know. And I was just talking to someone about that, how I was talking about it and then I did it. And I'm like, that's fucking awesome. Like, how inspiring is that? Like, it's hard, you guys. Making those decisions isn't easy. But when you're going after things that you want that are like something deep down in your heart, like, yes, it's hard, but it's also worth it. So why not? Just fucking do it. What else are you gonna do? Sit on the couch all day? What the fuck? All right, my friends, there's a lot more than that. So stick around. I'll see you next time. Peace.